Live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs, it's the First Dibs podcast with our hosts, John Deisty and Justin Underwood. Buckle up and let's go for a ride.
I love words. I thank you for hearing my words. I want to tell you something about words that I think is important. I love, as I say, they're my work, they're my play, they're my passion. Words are all we have, really. We have thoughts, but thoughts are fluid, you know. And then we assign a word to a thought, and we're stuck with that word for that thought. So be careful with words. I like to think, yeah, the same words, you know, that hurt can heal. It's a matter of how you pick them. There are some people that aren't into all the words. There are some people that would have you not use certain words.
Oh, yeah. We got to turn on the microphones. Welcome back, everybody. It's the First Dibs podcast.
Yes.
We took a week hiatus because we said some bad words. And I didn't edit those 10 seconds of words out. Mm-hmm. So we just took it down and said, maybe we'll edit it and put it back up because I don't think the start of that show was our best work.
No.
But I think at the end, we really got going.
Yeah.
I think the bits about electric cars and electrification and how to move that forward, I think that was positive attention. So
maybe you could find a way to edit it completely in reverse to where it still makes sense.
Okay. What if we just tell people to watch it in a mirror? If you're listen to us in a mirror. Did we introduce the show?
First Dibs?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the First Dibs podcast from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs pre-owned showroom.
We almost forgot how to do this.
I'm Justin.
And I'm John.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
We got to get back on Instagram. But anyways, so for the people that are watching on YouTube, you did see it last week.
That's true.
So that's a reason to tune in to YouTube.
Yes, exactly. We didn't get censored
and I completely
until after the show.
I'm so sorry, John, because last week I completely forgot to say congratulations on 500 subscribers.
Oh yeah, thanks.
That's awesome. So when are you
one more than 499?
When are you going to get paid?
I think the check should start coming soon. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You know, hey,
that's a big deal
for a little guy from Connecticut. That's not bad. Yeah.
What are we going to talk about tonight? So I would think that we've got some business to talk about because it's been pretty busy.
Yeah.
But nothing really comes to mind right away. Other than a Ford pickup.
Ford pickup.
What do they call it?
22.
It's a
Boxster GTS, 4-liter.
Oh, yes.
Coming right now.
Yeah. Super cool car.
Yep.
It has adaptive cruise control.
Well, there you go.
How often do you see that?
You can drive it blindfolded. At least you won't hit anything. At least if it's in front of you.
Not hard anyway.
Yeah. Thanks to our friends at Haggerty Insurance for supporting the channel.
Yes.
Also, by the way,
and our clients.
Yes, exactly. I use those guys for my Volvo.
Nice.
Speaking of driving blindfolded, but so that car, the Boxster just came in. I don't know. I feel like everything else is still in transit.
I've got a Lexus today.
2022 Lexus GX450H.
Right.
The hybrid.
Yeah.
That's got 29,000 miles on it. It's gray. I love hybrid SUVs. I think they make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So that'll be super cool.
Well, the F-150 is a cool truck. It's kind of unique.
It is. Heritage Edition.
Yeah, Heritage
package or something. Yeah. Cool color.
It's a paint scheme.
And the seats too are special.
Right.
They got like a cloth classic seat.
Yeah. No, I mean, it just feels like there's been a lot that's kind of rolling.
I think I'm the only one doing anything though, because those are both mine.
Oh, and another one. We may as well count it, an 89 Cabriolet.
Yep, that one's coming.
Yeah.
That's a nice car.
That's a really nice car.
132,000 miles.
Is it called Diamond
Blue?
Metallic.
Yep. It was named, I was going to say after a stripper. But
it may have been.
Yeah, but I didn't know the German translation for Diamond Blue. That was her name.
Blue Diamond.
She worked in Stuttgart.
She worked in Stuttgart.
They had a never mind. This is derailing quickly. But yeah, no, that car, super nice car.
Very nice car.
It's an 89.
89.
So that's the last year. Kind of an overlap year,
Right,
actually.
correct.
Because if that was a coupe, it'd be a 4-wheel drive car.
Yeah, 964.
And yeah, that'd be the first of them. So kind of a fun one.
Yeah.
One owner car, previous to the client that we're buying it from.
Right.
Lived its life in California. Paint seems to be very original. I don't think maybe not necessarily completely original. I feel like one of the panels maybe metered a little high, but maybe that's just the way it was. I couldn't see anything visually. Drives well, started right up after not even being on a battery tender
Nice.
when I picked it up. That'll be a cool car. I think due for a kind of a major service with valve adjustment and stuff like that, just so it's fully ready to go. But
Yeah.
that was a delightful little car. I think if you're wanting to get into that air cooled generation, I like the cabriolets a lot for that because they're a little less expensive than the coupes, but I don't think any of those cars are so like hardcore with chassis rigidity or anything like that, where you're going to push them
Right.
up to any limit.
Yeah.
So for just putting around, why not have it be an open car?
Yeah.
You know, like that just seems delightful. Yeah, they get the newer G50 transmission, which is the first of the 911 transmissions, I think, to really feel modern, where it's sprung to the center.
Yeah.
And if you're going to first, it's, you know, push it over and up, because if it was a 915 from like an SC, it might already be there. You might just have to push it up. You don't,
Right.
there's no,
Yeah.
you just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And they're more robust. Oh, our lot guys are leaving. Patrick and Ross are taking off tonight. So normally they're watching this, right?
Yeah. They got to stay late.
They did, but they got
Yep.
to. Yeah.
OT.
That's right. They got to stay late because they were taking in the Boxster GTS
Yeah.
in exchange for the 22 Carrera S manual transmission. So anybody that has been looking at the 22 manual transmission Carrera,
You only had a year.
it wasn't a year.
But you just missed it. No, it wasn't a year. But
Nice
that
car.
one stuck around too long. I think we got it in August.
Yeah, it was super nice car, and it has all the sport goodies on it.
Even the carbon roof.
Right. Yeah. And actually, a big selling factor for that was blind spot monitoring.
Well, there you go.
That's kind of the deciding factor.
$1,020 option. $1,060.
Right. Yeah. But it was kind of interesting because the gentleman that got it, he drove a 4S manual transmission, and then got in the Carrera S, the rear wheel drive car, to drive him back to back.
Yeah.
And he noticed, well, at least for him, the rear. He said he could tell a difference in the rear of the car. I thought that was kind of interesting. Not sure what it would be. He said you can feel the weight.
Like the rear axle steering that the white one had.
Maybe that's what he was noticing.
I think it had rear steering, didn't it?
Yeah. But anyway, primary decision was, the blind spot monitoring is just a feature that was kind of going after. But anyway, congratulations. And then thanks to our guys for taking care of it. So we'll have them on the show at some point. No, like you said, derailing. Where were we headed?
We were trying to do business.
Yeah.
And
It's
then-
been busy, but so just today, not that long ago, within the last few hours or so, anybody that's part of our email system got an email blast, if you will, that we're buying cars. And I know people are getting this email because within 10 minutes of this email going out, I started getting absolutely bombarded with phone calls and emails, which I think is awesome. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I see there being an opportunity to get some inventory for the store. And I had a great conversation with a gentleman that lives kind of, quasi in the mountains or so. And instantly speculating that all we're going to do is take a look at Manheim Market Report and KBB and just kind of shoot off that number. And but the good conversation is that that's not the market, right? With this selling this Carrera S tonight, it's the market is what the market is, and that's what we buy and sell to. So a lot of times those book values, they're in this world, they're not correct because it's changing quickly, which is a huge risk, on everybody's part, I guess. But no, I think I'm going to be able to make some extremely fair, offers for anybody that is looking to sell a car. So, and we're not just buying Porsches; we'll buy off-brand cars as well, as long as it makes sense for the store. So, for those of you watching, listening, call me.
I had a really interesting question today from a client. They have their plan had been, keep their cars a long time and take great care of them. And thinking that, the depreciation curve kind of drops and then kind of levels off a little bit. But trying to time that can be a little tricky. And I think with COVID and stuff, who knows what was happening. But in a traditional market, he's kind of wondering, like, moving forward, when should I think about trading these cars in? And my gut reaction was, if you do plan to turn stuff, sell it back or trade it back in while some of the warranty remains, because it takes some of the risk out for the dealership that's going to be taking it in on trade, because then what we're worried about is the reconditioning of the car in terms of the maintenance items, the tires, the brakes, the oil changes, the spark plugs, all of that stuff. But we're not worried about what if the air suspension failed on a Range Rover.
Right.
Because if it did, well, that's fine. It's under warranty.
Yeah.
So if you trade it in at 3 years and 350 days versus 4 years and 1 day,
right,
to me, in my brain, that's a pretty big delta just for the assumed risk of not having that warranty. So that was kind of my advice. I don't know if you have any other thought. Is there, is it a 2-year trade, a 3-year trade? The warranty trade, do you just keep it for 10 years?
I think, it definitely depends on the kind of car, and but let's just the more average, common everyday cars. I definitely agree with your point on trading it in while there's some warranty on the car. Actually, just recently, we have a car that's going through the process that our service department, it's a 2021 Cayenne Turbo, and anyway, had a coolant leak.
Yep.
Well, in their brain, it's a 2021 Cayenne Turbo that has warranty on it. They didn't notice that it has 54,000 miles on the odometer, so they just went ahead with this, $8,000 warranty repair.
Yep.
And warranty's not going to cover it because it's outside.
It's 4,000 miles.
Yeah, exactly.
Past,
And so, that was kind of oh crap, sorry, we didn't notice that. But so to your point is absolutely, when the car's under warranty, that would ease a dealership's mind as far as like you say, we can see what the tires look like, we can see what the brakes look like, and we have a general idea what the maintenance history looks like, even if it hasn't been serviced here. So those items we can calculate in our head as far as what we're going to have to do to recondition the car, and it's the unknown. It's always that's the risk. That's the biggest risk, is the unknown of what they're going to find when they're going through. And in a case like that, that's a big costly repair. So that's great advice. I think as far as the curve, depreciation curve, Porsche in general is a little bit of a different curve, or at least kind of the time span is. Cars in general, it's the first 500 days of a car's life cycle is the greatest amount of depreciation typically. But like you mentioned, the COVID thing,
that messed everything up.
It messed everything up.
That was, I think
it kind of
there's
stuff,
inflation and all those things that, I'm not an economist. I don't know what actually happened with it, but
sure. But we're seeing, I think in general, it would be, the depreciation is going to be the first year and a half. That's going to be the biggest part of it. And then after that, it definitely starts to slow down. And then generally speaking, 5 to 7 years with Porsche cars, it's kind of flatline at that point. The amount of depreciation is really slow, after that point. And then the certain cars, to me, it's a rule of 10. It's a 10-year rule. And if you hang on to that, if it's kind of a specialty car or what might be considered a specialty car, you've got to hang on to it for at least 10 years. And there will be some scary moments, you know, at year 6, year 7, maybe something like that, where you just see a, you know, big market trend change. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know, this is crazy. What's going to happen? But then, I mean, just historically around that 10-year mark, you start to see that's when that car, the test of time is there, and the car really proves itself. And that's when that market will change on that age of car. It's pretty fascinating when you look at how Carrera GTs, you know, all that stuff. I mean, you can go back a long way, and just, to me, yeah, historically, if you hang on to it for at least 10 years, you'll see an upswing. It's pretty cool.
I was listening to Spike's car radio today, and they were talking a little bit about how the 356 market seems to maybe be cooling a little bit.
Sure.
I feel like it's probably too early to know for sure if that's actually happening or if it's just been, you know, a few mediocre cars have sold or something like that. But I wonder at what point, you know, things start drooping again.
Well,
because, you know, I think with the newer stuff, technology is improving so quickly. There are big changes between you know, even a 2006 911 and a 2013 911. Sorry, your coffee machine is rinsing itself. So if you hear a little hum, that's that. You know, but when you look back prior to that, you know, there's not that much difference in technology with a 996 and a 356, right? I mean, there's a CD player, rather than a, you know,
fuel injection.
Well, sure. In terms of the the technology in what runs, you know, what makes the mechanicals of the car. But I think, you know, in talking about new technology is more talking about like Bluetooth and Apple CarPlay and the integration of infotainment and stuff like that. That seems to be what's kind of pushing forward more. I mean, sure, we've, you know, found ventilated seats in the last 10 years or so, but how much does that really matter, right? I love it. I think it's cool, but you know, I wouldn't not buy a 993 turbo because it doesn't have ventilated seats.
Right.
So, you know, I just wonder at what point is that, and we're not going to have an answer, but you know, when do those like droop a little bit, or you know, there's the Brexit motoring guys that were on steering committee a bunch, where you've got kids that are half our age that are now getting into these British roadsters and stuff like that. And you know, if a 356 changes from being a $100,000 car to being a $75,000 car, maybe that draws some of them back in as they're getting further into careers, and then the market kind of pops back up because they're getting into mechanical objects again.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I like that. Yeah. I think that's a really good point to key in on. And it's like anything else market, you know, kind of based, is that on the, say, 356s, there will be a few hot cars when there's not many to choose from sell for big money. And then everybody that has one that's ever thought about, you know, potentially selling it tries, you know, might try to take advantage of that, which winds up flooding the market, you know, with more available options. And so everything kind of comes down. But, and then when those go away, you know, the market kind of will come back again. But I like that. I think when the market comes down to giving more people, more like real enthusiasts, you know, people that really want to be in that, but it's just out of reach, you know, for a little bit. As soon as it comes in reach, I think that's awesome when it gets in the right hands. Yeah.
If 996 Aero Kit cars with 16,000 miles are worth $35,000 again.
Right.
Oh boy, sign me up. You know, I'll just have to figure that out.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know, maybe, so that means that's another 30 odd years from now.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean,
but they won't be that because, you know, they hit their cheap point. and really, if you look at 356s, those cars were what, $5,000?
New
10 grand. Well, yeah. And then were even 30 years ago, you could probably get a decent one for that, because they were, you know, like, you couldn't get a 4-cam, but you could get
project car drivers.
Yeah, driver quality something for
Yeah, 15, 20 grand maybe, something like that.
for a nice one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they're being appreciated.
Yeah.
For what they're worth.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I agree. Which is cool. That's great to see. Just looking through some of the, typical listing markets, I'm seeing a number of 356 Speedsters that have popped up, which is actually pretty cool because it used to be really rare, to come across one of those for sale.
Yeah.
Now there'll be multiples or Roadsters, 356B Roadsters, which are a pretty awesome car.
Does the windshield come out of those?
In the Roadster?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't think so.
I thought it did.
Well, on the Speedsters, the side ones are like plastic, more or less, right? Those just lift out because they're not. Yeah, you don't roll up the windows in a Speedster, but anyway, the Roadster.
I thought the Roadster you could unbolt the front windscreen for when you wanted to go race it.
Huh. I mean, that's I guess. Well, I guess I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
But maybe there was a feature.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Someone will.
Someone will find out.
Ian.
Yeah.
Now the classic market seems to be doing okay. I mean, we've been selling a couple cars and we're acquiring more, and there's a couple local ones. I can't talk about them too much, but man, I hope they come back here to where I get a chance to buy them. Super cool, incredibly clean local cars.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Well,
keep trying.
who knew? Look at that. Join Mobile One at Pikes Peak.
Yes. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I
Where-
signed their dealership up today.
the dealership.
Yeah.
Good.
Uh-huh.
So right now, I think it's because it's for customers as well.
Yep.
And as long as you get a Mobile One oil change between now and I forget the date.
End of April.
Yeah,
Something like that.
You can register to where they'll send. Well, it's some kind of VIP package for
Yeah,
Pikes
you
Peak Hill Climb.
you get 2 tickets to fly in. So what I'm thinking is we could fly from like Colorado Springs to Paris as the connecting flight, or Denver maybe. Drive up
Right.
to Denver, fly to Paris, and then back to Colorado Springs could be our loop if
That
we
would be
win.
cool.
And then VIP accommodations and tickets. So I'm guessing they'd probably put you up at the Broadmoor or something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And then do they've got kind of a VIP ticket package with that you can just buy it with the Pikes Peak thing, and you get to start at the start line and see some of that stuff, and then they take you to the Cog Railway and let you ride all the way up to the top, and then you get to hang out with the drivers at the finish line.
Yeah, right.
So I'm guessing it's probably an experience somewhat like that. So if there's anybody from Mobile One out there listening that would like to come on the show to tell me what it's actually about, we'd love to
Yeah.
broadcast that out.
Oh, for sure. I have a feeling there's going to be a rather large Mobile One presence at the race this year.
I hope so. Yeah. I hope we get VIP badges. Remember that scene from Wayne's World, or maybe Wayne's World 2, when they have like the backstage passes to Alice Cooper and they're showing everybody? God, I would absolutely be that guy. I'm supposed to be here. Look at that.
Right.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. With your headset
Oh yeah.
and mobile recording.
Absolutely. Yeah. That, I think, that might be my favorite episode we've done. The Pikes Peak Pit Walk.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was
definitely
very just spontaneous and there. Well, I mean, we planned enough to like bring the podcast equipment.
Yeah.
It's not like there was some thought. there was some thought involved. Right.
Speaking of which, you mentioned them, but because our last show was taken down.
Yeah.
We really need to give a big shout out to our friends, the steering committee.
Yeah.
Ryan and Doug.
What a run.
Yeah, I finally got to listen to their last show that they did.
Yep.
What a great show.
Yeah.
Those guys are, I mean, they're class. So,
Yeah.
But they mentioned us a couple times, and they mentioned that the shows that we did with them were some of the best shows.
Well, it's because
I
we're
agree.
such professionals as well. Some of their other guests, they were like amateurs that hadn't been on the radio before. But when you have people that just do this day in, day out and understand it. That was very tongue in cheek. If we have any new listeners from the steering committee, number one, thank you. But
Right.
also, Yeah, no, love for those guys is endless.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
excited to see what comes back. Maybe they're always welcome here, obviously.
Well, yeah. So I mean, but next time they'll be guests, as Ryan and Doug,
yeah.
which is great. It's a little different, at that point. So
Yeah.
that's kind of fun.
Yeah, but I'm sad. I don't know what to listen to now.
Yeah.
There's like a hole in my podcast lineup.
Right.
So,
Speaking of whole and podcast lineup, do you remember the sessions?
yeah.
Is it coming back?
It's on Twitch right now, I think. I was
Okay.
just talking about that today, too, because
Okay.
Call Me Maybe.
Yeah,
And
right.
we were talking a little bit about guilty pleasures.
Yes.
And we'll circle back to this.
Right.
But yeah, the sessions, the guy, Christian James Hand, that would dissect songs. We talked about him on the show.
it was also a car guy.
Yeah, a little bit. But he's just the way he can take a song apart. I wish I just had the software that he has where I could like play just the drum track from Beat It
Right.
and listen to that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty cool. But the way he's able to talk you through these people that were all involved in making this song and why it's so good.
Right.
I thought that was super interesting, and yeah, I hope he has something that's more accessible to me because I think he's on Twitch, which is like the gaming streaming service thing,
Okay.
but I don't think it records, so I think you have to watch it live and then it's done. So I've never really caught that.
Right. But he does shows, like he does live shows, right?
Yes, that would be
well.
so cool to go see
Right.
in a theater.
Yeah.
Basically a DJ up on stage playing these songs and talking through it
Right.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Sessions was a show that John had turned me on to as far as because I like music, and I grew up, playing music, and so I have an appreciation and somewhat of an understanding of how that stuff all comes together. But yeah, listening to this guy, that was the show. It was called The Sessions, right? And anyway, in 25 minutes, some of those, it was mind blowing. And it's always it's not new age stuff, right? It was always like older
pop hits or classics. And, yep.
But I think because the first one that you told me about was Rick James, and what was the song? It was oh shoot! But during the song, because he breaks all the track, each piece down, and people are clapping in a room, and you hear someone. You hear someone in the background during it recognize they screwed up.
Yeah.
And so you hear these claps, right? And it's probably like 13 people clapping at the same time. And someone messes up and you hear him on the track go, oh, damn. But you don't, but when you hear that, when he breaks it down, if you're really paying attention, you can catch it in the song, and then you'll catch it.
Yeah, and then you hear it
comes
forever,
on.
and then now the song is totally different, and you love it. Yeah, I just, I think we'd mentioned this on the show too a while back, but I watched the documentary about the "We Are the World" song.
Oh wow, mm-hmm.
That was awesome because it's like all of these epic stars.
Yeah.
All in a room performing.
Right.
And like one of them got absolutely wasted. And like,
and weren't a lot of them meeting each other for the very first
oh yeah,
time?
absolutely. Yeah. And like Waylon Jennings, I think that's the right guy. Or George Thorogood or some like hardcore country star
Yeah.
was there and he was going to record on it. And then, Stevie Wonder started talking about how they should probably have like some Swahili words in there. And he was like, oh, hell, I ain't going to sing that. He just left. And that didn't make the cut. But like just all of these just mega stars all hanging out. And
Right.
I don't know. That was similar, right? And you get a peek behind the curtain
Yeah.
on why that happened, how that happened, how you make music. And I think that's what the Sessions does.
Yeah.
McInnes says that the lawsuit cleared on the Sessions stuff, so he should be able to start recording again soon.
Oh,
so
cool.
look at how timely we are with this stuff.
Amazing. Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah.
So go check that out.
Yeah.
For sure. What else? Where were we?
Well,
How did we get derailed that far?
I don't know. We were going to talk about guilty
guilty pleasures. Yeah.
You got to start that off because I don't know.
Okay, the things that come to mind, how this started was I was talking with my client about like audiophile equipment and killer speaker setups and stuff like that. And if you're showing off your system, how do you show it off? What do you play? And so he sent me a playlist, and so I'm excited to go check those out. I don't have a killer. I don't have like a blow your ears off system,
Pretty
but
nice.
it works pretty damn well. And I'm excited to try some of these and just kind of see what he's saying because it's just an interesting world, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's something where even if you don't know that you appreciate it, if you're exposed to the right thing, you would, right? Like people that aren't foodies, if you served them a steak from a 3-star Michelin restaurant and it's seasoned perfectly, cooked perfectly and stuff like that, you take a bite,
Yeah.
you don't have to be trained in culinary perfection to understand how great that is. And I think the same thing can happen with music systems and cars too, right? If you're sometimes you get in something and like I had the guy that we had to edit it out or cancel the show last week. But I had a guy just passed his boards as a doctor. All of his mentors had driven Porsches forever. He had never driven one. I drove one with him. He was like, I get it. And I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah. And I think the speaker thing can be the same. But yeah, he was talking about like the sound stage and imaging of speakers because like you think the sound is coming from the speaker forward. So like if you closed your eyes, everything should sound like it's coming from there forward. But in a really good setup with a really good recording, you can like see the musicians behind the speakers because that's where they were recording it. The speakers, all they're doing is projecting that sound forward. So you can it can paint a picture.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
Anyway, I'm inviting myself up there next time. Next time I'm up there, I'm going to bring a set of tunes that I want to listen to.
Yeah, right.
And just barge in. So
That's pretty wild.
yeah, maybe we could record from there.
Ooh.
That would be a fun show.
I mean, it's got some awesome acoustic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yep.
I like the sound of that.
He's going deep into our recording history
Really?
and just randomly picking shows and listening to them. And
Really?
he says he enjoys us. Yeah. So, hey, he told me some stories I forgot about.
Oh, okay.
So, and I forgot about him again. Because that's what we do.
So what is your guilty pleasure? What's an example?
So if I relate it in the car world, I would say Jeep Wranglers.
You like Jeep Wranglers?
Yeah. And like, I know I shouldn't. I know they kind of drive like crap. But I just love them. I have fun in them. They make me smile. I like the fact that like I'm tall and I have to step up into it. Like no running boards. I don't want, I want to, and I want a Sahara. I don't want the Rubicon. I'm the hairdresser. I'm not the true off-roader. I'm not like, I'm going to park it in parking lots at the mall. I am not going to drive it on dirt. I mean, I would, but that's not what it's for. Right. And I just think they're hilarious. The death wobble.
Oh,
that the shake. I mean,
I've seen that multiple times.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Yeah. The suspension geometry is wrong. So if you go the wrong speed and like hit the brakes, the steering wheel just starts to shake.
A bump on the highway.
Yeah. And
this has been happening
since World War II. Yeah, actually, probably World War I. I think wasn't the Jeep kind of introduced?
How come you can't figure that shit out?
Yeah. But maybe that would be the way to do it. Maybe get a World War II era Jeep that 45 horsepower goes,
cool.
55 miles an hour. It's not a freeway car,
right.
But it doesn't have seatbelts, and you can put 4 people in it, and paint it like acid green,
right,
rather than army green.
Yeah, that'd be kind of.
I think that'd be
interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
I wonder how much those are. I feel like they should be $10,000.
Yeah.
Because they made a bajillion of them.
Right.
But I bet they're collector's items and they're probably like 50 or 60.
Yeah. Yeah. Collectors, museums.
Yeah.
All that stuff. At least the ones that are in good
Yeah,
condition.
that are drivable.
Yeah. And they're not rusted out from mud sitting in them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's kind of funny though. I never would take you for a Jeep Wrangler person.
I mean, partly the times I've been in them has been, I test drove one here once and loved it, and then renting them in Hawaii. So that's a little special.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to buy one once. There was years ago when I had kind of just gotten into sales. We had a really nice one traded in, low miles. It was black, manual transmission, 2-door, right?
Yep.
It was the right version.
Yep.
And not crazy off-road, modded out. It was just a really nice looking Jeep. And guy that I was working with at the time, Mark Barnett was his name. And I said, hey man, do you mind if I take this home for the night to check it out, see if it's something that I'm actually that interested in? And I worked with, Jeep people. And he said, oh yeah, heck yeah, man, check it out. You'll love it. It's pretty sweet. Take it home, bring it back the next day, and he says, hey, what'd you think? And I'm like, man, I am super glad that I drove that. He says, really? You like it? And I'm like, I will never own a Jeep.
Yeah. Yep.
It was awful. It was so bad. I mean, and I didn't know what to expect, and that's why I wanted to drive it. But I learned, I learned a lot about it, and I just learned this is just not for me. So
Well, I feel like if I had one, I would take a different route to work.
versus-
for you, it's not going to work, right? You're not going to take side streets from Parker. That's
I would just get
slightly
an
less
apartment
effective.
here, yeah.
But to me, if I drive on, if I take the quick route, it's probably 25 minutes. If I take side streets, it's probably 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So you could go, 35 to 45 miles an hour the whole way. Leave the top off all the time.
Yeah.
And just putter around.
Yeah. I still get nervous for people when I see them driving them with the doors off.
Yeah.
I just think, I mean, what kind of stuff falls out of your car?
Yeah.
I mean, besides people and dogs and it just,
Yeah.
I get nervous when I see that stuff.
How about putting the windshield down?
Oh,
Take a rock to the forehead. Do you remember when the sunroof in my my All-Track exploded?
I wasn't there, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, that would have just plucked me in the forehead. Right? I'd be dead. Yeah. I don't think I'm quite that hardcore.
Right. Yeah. Oh, driving. Anyway, congratulations to Julia. She got her driver's license today. That's awesome. So
Wow.
anyway, good job.
Congrats.
Yeah. That's scary.
What's she going to learn to drive manual on?
I don't know. Good question. Preston's Subaru.
It's probably a good choice.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's the next phase. I think I remember doing a driving lesson very early on with Julia, and she said, "Hey, do you think you could, let me drive your car, and we'll meet everyone else, at dinner?" And I go, "How about let's work on using your turn signal, and then we'll learn how to use a manual transmission." But anyway, so no, fun experience. And then, there's another one. Emma is coming. She's getting her learner's permit. So that's one just hitting the ropes right away. And more experiences, it's fun. I can't wait to start hearing stories about you and Lewis and, driving lessons, all that stuff.
No,
I've been with him in a golf cart.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
He was doing all right.
He's doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he can drive a stick.
Oh, cool.
Yep, at least a simulator stick from when we were at the Denver Racing Sims thing. They had a GT500 set up on their full motion simulator with a clutch and with a gated shifter, and he got it figured out.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, shoot. I'm trying to think about guilty pleasure stuff. I don't know why this popped into my head. Probably watching kid movies. I love movies.
okay,
I love watching movies. And I think that there's a lot of kid movies / Disney movies or whatever that they always have some kind of an inspirational story to them. And I think I just latch onto that stuff. And
Angels in the Outfield.
I don't. Yeah, I've seen that. That's with. I have seen.
Yeah.
That's not one that I would watch often.
There were 6 baseball movies all in that same year.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
That's one of my
that's the one where he
favorites.
like breaks his arm.
Yeah,
And then he
yeah,
just zings it in there. Yeah, that was a good one.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that stuff. So I get, that might be a guilty pleasure. I remember my brother-in-law, Darren, his guilty pleasure was listening to Katy Perry. Because he's a major, musicphile guy. Has his own room in his house that's dedicated to his records and all that stuff and, music.
Yep.
But yeah, his guilty pleasure was listening to Katy Perry. So I think, that's probably what mine would be in the outside world, would be like probably too young of, kid movies that I will gladly sit down and watch alone.
Yep.
Right. I used to use my kids for an excuse. Like, oh, you get, kids want to watch Megamind again? Oh, cool.
Yeah. No. I do love all of the Pixar movies. I think those are great. Ratatouille, especially.
Oh, yeah.
That I think is just, I don't know how many awards it won. Probably
I think
not.
a lot.
Did a lot?
I think it did, yeah.
Well, it deserved them all.
There's
yep.
everyone it got.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. And in the car world, to go along with your Jeep Wrangler stuff, I don't know. That's an interesting question there. I don't know. It's probably
High mileage
yes
cars.
It's cheap.
High mileage, cheap one owner cars.
Yeah. Like it's cheap. I mean, so the cars that have come in here that I've been most interested in, as far as purchasing to keep personally, they're like 200,000 miles.
Do you remember the Rivy? The black Buick Riviera.
That was so cool.
We missed out on that one.
Cool.
That car.
Well,
I should call that guy and just see how that
was
car's
such
going.
a nice
oh
car.
my god, it was so good. It pinstriped, the red pinstripe down the side. It was one of the like a 96. I'm going to call it a boat tail, even though it wasn't the original boat tail Riviera, but man, I think those had wasn't that the Aurora V8?
Yeah,
4-liter.
Was it a V8 or a 6-cylinder? I think it's a 6-cylinder.
Was that a 6?
Yeah.
Maybe that was the supercharged 6.
Supercharged 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
What got the Aurora V8?
Oof.
Something did.
I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I some of the, but it's so funny because whenever a car comes in here, that we take it in on trade for $4,000 or less or whatever, every single one, I'm like, can I make this work?
Yeah. We're so challenged. Because I'm the same way. Yeah. No, I agree. It's
I've had Porsches and I have my, like Ranger.
Well, so here's the problem. We can't afford that. That's why we get excited for the $4,000 cars, is because we could technically maybe make that work.
Right,
We could maybe bring that home.
I'm like the RS customer at the buy here, pay here lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, the cars that come in here. Yeah. But there's some of them just like, oh my gosh, this is such a crazy deal.
Yep.
But
Yeah. So when it comes time to get Lewis something, do you think I should do a cheap new car and finance it so I get the safety and the warranty and the stuff like that? Or do I just pay cash for a heap of shit and then let Lewis learn what it's like to like drive around with a heater that's stuck in full hot in the middle of summer? Because if he doesn't, it won't it won't cool.
well, okay. So here's what I can tell you from real life experience.
Yeah.
My kids were given kind of a choice. It was, you can either take, these are twins. These are two kids at the same time, right?
Yep.
Keep that in mind. So you can either take a lump of crap for a car now, and then we'll help you out with a car when you get to college, if you get to college, right? Or you can take a new car now, but that's it. One and done, right? This is the car that will last you into your 20s, kind of thing.
Until
to
you
where
can buy your own.
You will buy your own car, after this. I will tell you, every kid is different, right? Not all kids appreciate it.
The fact that they get a car?
One, get a car, and two, the level of car that they have.
Okay.
So I think hindsight, which is always easy, There would not be a choice of getting a new car or a lump of crap. It would be a lump of crap. Like it's gonna be safe
Because they're going
right?
to crash it.
Fortunately, knock on wood, nothing's happened, yet. But it's just I mean, when you have your driver's license, that's your first real freedom,
Yeah.
right? That you get to have. God knows, what kids are doing now. I mean, I know what I was doing,
Yeah.
right?
I was dunking tennis balls in gasoline, lighting them on fire, and then throwing them at my friends.
That explains a lot. So
There's a video. I'll see if I can find it.
I was telling Preston, I was confessing to Preston, my son, some of the stupid crap that I did when I first got my car. Here's an awesome story, and I don't know if I've ever told this on air or not, but when I first get my first car was an 85 GMC Jimmy that was poop brown. It was rear wheel drive. And this is in Casper, Wyoming, right? We have snow in Casper, Wyoming. So I got to learn how to drive in the snow with rear wheel drive. And the most embarrassing part about this car was that it was perfect. I mean, the thing was mint condition. Well, anyway, I think it was the very first day that I have the car to myself. I am going to head over to my girlfriend's house. And we're just going to hang out, do whatever. And so I tell my mom, hey, I'm going to take off. I'm going to go over to Kristen's house, and we're just going to hang out. And my instructions were, you go there, and then you come back here later. You don't go anywhere else. All right, cool. So what do? I go to Kristen's house, pick her up, and we drive all the way across town. I mean, all the way across town to go see one of our friends that was working at a Blimpie sub shop. And so anyway, go into this, Blimpie sub shop. Hey, how's it going? We don't have any money or anything. We can't do anything. It's just this very awkward, exchange of quick words or whatever. And then it's like, all right, cool. We're going to head out, go head back, do something. Well, in an 85 GMC Jimmy, you have a key for the ignition and you have a key for the doors. And the key for the doors is the key for the center glove box or the center console glove box. I wasn't smart enough to figure out how to leave the console glove box unlocked all the time, so I just left the key in it. The Jimmy had electric locks, so when we got out of the car, lock the doors, close it, right? So when we come out, I realize I don't have a key for the door. I look inside, there it is, right? Inside the center console. Have to awkwardly, we walk back into Blimpie, because I'm screwed, I'm sweating, right? Walk into Blimpie, ask, hey, can we use your phone? I got to call my mom. And like, no, we don't allow calls. Okay, so we had to go to a bowling alley, borrow a phone.
That makes it better.
Call my mom and say, hey, I locked my keys in the car. And she says, oh, okay, I'll be right over.
We're at a bowling alley.
I am at a bowling alley across town.
Well,
I know where you are. I'll be there.
Yeah.
It was awful. And I didn't get my card taken away that time, but it was awful. I mean, but that's the stupid crap,
Yep.
Every kid does.
Yep.
Every kid does. So anyway, I guess, back to the appreciation side of it is I think the kids appreciate it more when they actually there's a little bit of a challenge to their drive, and it's not a flashy car, right? It's not going to be the coolest thing, newest thing in the parking lot at school. All that stuff. I think there's a level of appreciation that comes with it.
We should do a FedEx envelope bet on Lewis's first car.
We could do that. We could totally do that. I have a FedEx bet going with the lot guys.
Yep, I know.
When the Carmen Gia goes.
Yep. So we'll have to, let's do it. I think we got some time.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yep. That sparked something. Oh yeah. How's your e-bike?
It's awesome. It's in my garage. I haven't been able to ride it. It's either been snowing or I haven't been home.
All right.
It has 7.9 miles on the odometer.
Okay.
I picked it up with 7.5.
That's pretty good.
Right. But it's super cool. So the night that the Porsche Club, like Robin came to pick up their trailer.
Yep.
I didn't know they were down there, but I just hightailed it, I was down the street to the parking lot because I wanted to ride it, and I wanted to ride it up the hill to see what the assist felt like and all that stuff. That thing's badass. It's a gas e-bike. It's not, I guess you call it an e-bike. There's no throttle, right? It doesn't power itself. It has different levels of assistance. And man, I mean, just on the eco mode or whatever, you can tell, right, that it's helping. You crank that thing up to the max power. Dude, I was flying up this hill.
Go win some Tour de Francing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it's awesome. I'm totally looking forward to riding it around, Preston's karting weekends, all that stuff, because that's a lot of ground to cover. And now I'll be able to explore all over the place. But it's sweet. I like it.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's super fun. Full suspension. When Joe was selling it to me, he says, "What do you want to use this for? Are you going to take it on trails?" And I'm like, "Yeah, paved trails through Highlands Ranch and Parker."
Yeah, exactly.
He says, "This is way more than you need." And I'm like, "But it's cool because I've never seen one. I think it's pretty sweet."
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, I think it's pretty awesome.
I think you should take it out on a golf course. I think that would be a lot of fun.
That'd be
like
cool.
just jamming up and down
Right? Yeah.
through the sand traps. Right?
might get
Avoid the greens. Public course.
Oh, no.
The public course. Yeah.
Right? Just going out for a ride.
Yeah.
There's some nice public courses around my
I know.
area.
Yeah. Give that a shot.
Yeah. Be cool.
Heard it here first.
That's a great idea. Hey, I'm on the cart path.
Exactly. Yep.
But no, I love it. And so if you're, I guess, I mean, we've said it before, but Colorado Karting Tour is sponsored by Porsche Colorado Springs this year. So if you or your kids or any other friends or family do the kart racing part of the Colorado Karting Tour, you will see us out there, and you'll see me on my gas bicycle
And
riding around.
if you get a picture of Justin on the bike,
Ooh,
you get $5
from
me. Yeah. Tag First Dibs Podcast on Instagram.
wow.
And I'll send you $5. Limit one picture per account.
Right. Yeah. It's
Yep.
awesome. No,
Yep.
that's cool. I'm excited for that. The karting stuff is getting started here at the beginning of April.
Yeah. Got a new chassis.
Yep. I mean, what am I psyched for? It's yes, but yes. Yeah, he is now on his third. He has 2 that get used. He's on his third, 2 of them get used.
There you go.
He's only been doing it for
What do you do with the last one? Just mount it on the wall?
No. I don't know what you do with it. That stuff like that is bad juju.
Mounting it on the wall?
Yeah.
Why?
So another real life story. When I was an early technician, I was tasked with finding out a check engine light on a 993 turbo. I wound up disassembling and reassembling the engine. I am not kidding you, John, 6 times before it was resolved because the end result was a flat spot on a valve stem. And it was cylinder number 6 would flag an intermittent check engine light. And what happens to valves as they're going up and down, they spin at a slow rate.
Yep.
Well, anyway, that flat spot in the valve had basically worn another flat spot in the guide, right, at the same area. And as the valve would spin, right, slowly, once it got to that kind of match section, if you will, it would stop for that quick second, and it would get hung up, and it wouldn't come all the way back. It wouldn't seat
Till it
in
got
the cylinder
tapped
head.
again.
Right. But then it would spin. So when I would do these compression and leak down tests, it was always fantastic. One time, doing a leak down test while the engine's out, all that stuff, cylinder 6 has 90% leakage or something. What the crap? Listening, and whack this valve with a hammer, just to get it to unseat and come back. Boom, comes down to 2% leakage. Well, anyway, I took apart. It was the cam tower, because there was something happened, one of the times when I was reassembling it. But anyway, had to replace the cam tower on one side, and I took that and I mounted it on the wall of the shop above my toolbox as a reminder, because I didn't get paid, for all these times.
Yeah.
The shop took a collection so I could get a paycheck one time. It was crazy. Anyway, so I mounted that on the wall as a reminder of think, just keep your head in it all the time. Service manager came up after a few weeks. He's like, that's bad luck. Take that off the wall. And ever since then, so I don't keep stuff like that. I learned my lesson. I know now.
Well, I guess
Get rid of it. If anything, he's got videos and pictures.
Yep.
Of the incident.
All right.
It's pretty crazy. So. Anyway.
Put it up on eBay. Never been wrecked.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Bring a trailer.
Yep.
Like new chassis.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to round out the show with?
We have talked about a lot of nonsense.
This is typical. Yep. To our friends at Haggerty and Mobile One.
Right.
This is our show. So get behind it. You're gonna love it. There are morsels of brilliance.
Who is your guest in April?
Well, we've got a few. Christian and Ortrun will be here on April 12th.
That's right.
I think they're our friends from the GT3 RS Twins Tour,
Right.
Which is now morphed into the GT3 RS and Speedster Tour.
Right.
I think it'd be fun to chat with them. I think they should be available. They fly in on a Friday.
Good.
And we can order them some food and hang out here and chat. And then Jason, who runs the newsletter for the Colorado Cars and Coffee, separate from our shift friends. He's volunteered to come and sit with us and hang out for a little bit. So I think it'll be fun to chat with him. And then I'm working on Pauly Shore for Pikes Peak weekend.
Right.
Also, I think I send Bruno Mars. We also remember we've been trying to book Bruno Mars for about a decade.
Right.
But no, I think it'll be fun. We'll start getting some more people.
Yeah. And I've got a local client here that I talked to just today, and he finally said he would do it just because it's us.
Yeah, good. It is us.
He's to me an extremely fascinating individual. I think he'll be a lot of fun to talk to.
Well, that's great.
And then
We might have a story.
I'm sure he will. We're within 90 days of Pikes Peak Hill Climb.
Isn't that crazy?
That's super crazy to think about. So our guest list will just continue to get better and better and better as we get closer to that. But
better than us.
Yes. Finally.
Yep.
Someone else.
Yeah, I applied for media passes to the Quail.
Nice.
So I linked the episode where we had Lewis on talking about Monterey. So I'm really hoping I'm not blowing up the spot of the guy that's charging for parking.
Yeah.
I would feel really bad. But they have to know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And those guys aren't doing any harm. They're helping. We wouldn't have been able to see the show without that being there. So I really appreciate that. And looking forward to getting out there.
Yeah.
Again, but maybe we'll have media
There you go.
credentials. We can get there early.
It'd be awesome.
Then I can do my show off the badge thing again.
Yep. Subtle reminder: May 18th is the first Motor City Cars and Bikes and our classic swap meet. So please, if you haven't already, put that on your calendar and be sure to come.
Cinco de Mayo is the off-road tour with the Porsche Club.
Oh yeah.
So I think they're doing Rampart Range Road.
Oh cool. Okay, that'll be cool.
So bring your Dakars.
Right. Yeah.
Do that.
But no, I think that's pretty good. I think we talked about a lot.
We did.
You got something lined up to
No, I don't.
go out?
We could just keep playing the 7 words we can't say. Just keep that going. I think the next 30 seconds, I think we should be safe.
All right, you can try it.
All right.
Well, anyway, for the First Dibs podcast from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs pre-owned showroom, I am Justin Underwood.
I'm John, and this is George Carlin.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, there are 400,000 words in the English language, and there are 7 of them you can't say on television.
I hope
What a
these are.
ratio that is.
I'm getting nervous.
399,993 to 7. They must really be bad. They'd have to be outrageous to be separated from a group that large.